call to the podium my fellow doctor, Dr. Odiri. Dr. Odiri Oginni, you're welcome. Thank you. And she will be speaking on building and strengthening key relationships. I thought you wanted to clap for her. It's not easy. Thank you.
Thank you. Good afternoon, everyone. Please, who is Babcock University? That's it. Eh? All right. So good afternoon, everyone. I've been asked to speak on building and sustaining key relationships. And the first question I ask myself is, why would Yinka give me this kind of task? Bukumi is the extrovert. We are complete introverts. Building relationship and networking is not our second nature. It's not something that we always jump into. But looking back, I think I appreciate the reason why. So thank you very much for inviting me the second time. Thank you. So, why do we need to build relationship, really? Like I said, I'm an introvert, and so are many of us here. So when we say networking, a lot of us have goosebumps. Yes. We are not all like extroverted Bukumi. That when you enter into a place, you want to meet everybody. We'd rather sit at home and do Netflix. Yes. Do you all agree? You prefer to come? Okay. So I will start with looking at why do we actually need to build relationship. And I think that if you understand the why, it gives you that motivation, to leave your house, to dress. And some of us don't like dressing to go out. That's another thing. Do you understand? But when you understand the reason why you need to build relationship, it gives you that motivation to dress and to go out and to show up. There was a quote that somebody shared with me a long time ago. He said, your success in career, amongst other things, is a function of the type of relationship you keep and the quality of those relationships. So yes, we might just be starting out in our careers, and you think that, as long as I'm good at what I do, I have the technical skills, that's all that matters. It gets to a point where that's not all that matters. The type of relationship you keep and the quality of those relationships will determine whether you get to the next level or not. So based on my own personal experience as a converted introvert, I will focus on sharing 10 personal strategies for building and sustaining relationship. I have 30 minutes, so I will try as much as possible to keep to time. So 10 personal strategies for building and sustaining relationship. The way I was groomed, my boss does not like PowerPoint. So, which is why most times I actually don't use PowerPoint, because I'm used to just, speaking and sharing. And a lot of the sharing is also from experience, and stories. But I'll be looking at 10 personal strategies, just looking at my career so far. About 17, 18 years, in this journey. A lot of us might just be starting out and we are looking at us. I like what Yinka shared around her failures. I remember it's a young friend of mine wrote the CFA exam level 1, and then he failed, and then he decided to commit suicide. Yes, wanted to drink rat poison. Some of us wrote level 1 4 times, level 2 3 times, level 3 3 times. So we spent 8 years writing CFA. By the time I looked at the person, I said, you failed once, you want to die. So those of us that failed multiple times, what will happen to us? And that is the truth. So a lot of us really don't know how to handle failures. So you see us here, you say, oh, because you are successful. You failed though. ICAN. That's not just that though. Promotion, missed promotion, there are a lot. But I think that the purpose of this event really is for you to see that if, irrespective of what they've gone through, their stories, and it resonates with everyone, we've all failed now. Have you not failed? You failed. But sometimes, because we hold the failure to our chest, nobody wants to share. You just think that you are the only failure. No, you're not the only failure. We've all gone through the experience of failing, and it has helped us. She shared so much how it has helped her to become the woman she is today, and to also empower her to do what she's doing. So really, failure is a blessing in disguise. And some of us have also failed in relationships also. Yes, in building relationship, one of the greatest things about relationship, why we don't like networking, is that we don't want to be rejected. So rejection is part of failing. Yeah, but if they don't reject you, the next person will not say yes to you now. So it is when you're able to brace through all the many rejections, or you're trying to introduce yourself to somebody and the person is not even listening to you. You feel somehow. Do you understand? But failing or failure is part of life. It's a journey itself. So whether it's in relationship, whether it's in career, whether it's in business, whether it's in exam, it's a part of life. So one of the first strategy I'm going to share around building and sustaining relationship is really about knowing yourself. Know yourself. When you don't know yourself, how do you want to build relationship with somebody else? How do you want to connect with somebody else? I started with saying that I'm an introvert, and understanding that I am an introvert, a proud introvert, understanding that I'm an introvert has also helped me to build relationship, because I don't go to events, with the aim or goal of meeting everybody. It's not my style. So because I know myself, I can go to an event, and if I meet 2 or 3 people, I'm fine. Yes. And I don't feel comfortable in large gatherings. So I go to large gatherings, I have to. But I realize that my strength, or I'm more excited or energized when the gathering is small. Then I can walk the room, I can greet everybody, I can talk to everybody. That's because I know myself. So what that helps me to do also is to prioritize those kind of events. So yes, I attend large gatherings, I meet people, I greet them. By nature of my work, I have to. But I know that when it comes to smaller units, smaller gatherings, you just the extrovert in me, or the hidden extrovert tends to come out in small gatherings. So it's important to know yourself. So you can't be everybody. You see people who go to events or networking, and they're everywhere, they're talking to people, and you stay on your corner, yeah, I wish I can be like them. I wish I'm like this. If you're an introvert, you are the quiet person, no problem. It's okay to go to that event and just meet one person, greet, take their card, and follow through. The most important thing is you know who you are, and you know this is the kind of person I am, and then you build from there. If building relationship or setting critical relations is critical to your job, you start from the place that you're comfortable with, and you build from there. The truth is, by the time you go for one event and you meet and network with one person, tomorrow you say, okay, I did one today. I said setting goals. Oh. I said setting goals, yes. Goals to attend certain number of events. When we do New Year resolution, some of us set resolution around so many things. I also set resolution around relationship, building strategic relationship. I can give you a file of the people I want to meet in my lifetime. Yes. I think it was in September, I went for a conference, and Fela Durotoye was in that conference, and we were on the same panel. We had a fireside chat. It was one of the people on my list that I wanted to meet. Yes. So I have a list of key relationships that I want to meet, people I want to meet, events I want to attend. So know yourself, and it's very critical, because you cannot be like everybody. If God created you to be an introvert, your personality is you're quiet, you're not outgoing, it's okay. It doesn't mean that you are disadvantaged from building relationship. So once you know yourself, you're able to build relationship confidently, you're able to build relationship from an authentic position. So knowing yourself also helps you to understand what is your values, what are your values, what is important to you, what are your strengths. It also helps you to sort out relationship. It's not every relationship that is good for you. It's not every relationship that is good for you, whether it's for business or whether it's for career or whether it's for personal relationship. So once you understand yourself, once you know yourself, you're able to understand your values, your strengths. You are aware of the kind of person you are, and you use that to choose the kind of relationship that you build. Knowing myself also helped me. I realized that if I show up for events early, as people are coming in, I can stand at the door and you're greeting people. But when you come when there are already people there, trust me, you are already, that motivation to start reaching out is not there. So knowing myself helped me to realize that small events was where I thrive more, and then coming early, where I can immediately start greeting people or, introducing myself. So knowing yourself is critical. Now, the second personal strategy I will talk around building and sustaining relationship is really about sponsorship. How many of us have heard about sponsorship? I heard about the word sponsorship in 2017. That's about 7 years ago. Now, a lot of us in your career, we know a mentor. We have a mentor. Mentorship is very critical. It's a critical part of your career relationship. But I can tell you that mentorship is good, but a mentor can only take you so far in your career. One of the critical relationships you need in your career is actually having a sponsor. So who is a sponsor? A sponsor is someone who uses their, how will I put it, their social capital, sort of, their everything that they've got, for your advantage. They are the ones who advocate for you in the room where you are. Somebody talked about, I'm in a room and I'm deciding promotion information, and then promotion decision. And then there's somebody that will say, no, Odiri is the one that is supposed to be promoted. Or Kemi can do that job. Let's send her out for that secondment. That person is your sponsor. Now, if you don't have that kind of relationship, what it means is that there is nobody in a room that you're not in that can actually speak for you. A mentor may not have the advantage because a mentor basically they have the knowledge and the skill in a particular field. They can guide you, they can provide lessons, support you, but they don't have that capital, that leverage, that, how will I call it, political power, sort of, to speak for you. So, but a sponsor has, and it is mostly in a place where you don't have the advantage of being in, and then they can advocate for you. So one of the critical relationships that you need to build in your career as you continue to rise is a sponsor. Most times people say, how do I get a sponsor? I always say, you don't get a sponsor. Yes, don't come and ask me, I want you to sponsor me. You can easily ask somebody, I want you to be my mentor. Yes, but it's a very difficult conversation to say, I want you to be my sponsor. It's possible to ask, but a sponsorship relationship is a kind of special relationship. It's a kind of bonded relationship, and that's the truth. Because how will you put down your political will and capital for somebody that you don't have a relationship with? For somebody that you don't know, somebody just walks up to you and say, I can mentor you from afar. I can tell you my stories, guide you, give you knowledge. I can do that from afar. But you can't sponsor somebody that you don't have a connection with, which is why for me, it's a special relationship. And it's not a relationship that you get by asking. You can get it by asking, but it will not be authentic in my head. It will not. Because it's a committed relationship. So how do you get a sponsorship now if you can't get it by asking? First of all, you have to be so good at what you do. You have to be excellent at your job. Whoever will advocate for you must know that this person will not fall on my hand. This person will not embarrass me. So imagine somebody you do not know just come to you and say, I want you to sponsor me. You don't know that person's capability. You don't know that person's, competence level. Or you know that this person is not somebody that can deliver. Why would you sponsor the person? Why would you sponsor the person? So the critical criteria for attracting a sponsor, I always say you attract a sponsor. Because even as we get to senior level, we get to a point where it is more like, I want to give back. So you're kind of, in a subtle way, looking for somebody who you can help and support their career. In a way, you're trying to be a sponsor to somebody, but you are searching. So you are attractive to a sponsor. You don't just get a sponsor. And the only way you're attractive to a sponsor is when you're good at what you do. when you're excellent at your job, when you go above and beyond in what you do. I used to have a boss about 7-8 years ago. When he goes to board meeting, you say, oh, if I just have 2 Odiri in my room, in my team, I'm fine. If I just have 2 Odiri in my room, at that point in time, I didn't even know what he was doing. I didn't even understand the relationship. He was my boss, But he would just go to places that I don't know, that I'm not part of, and you say, oh, if I just have 2 Odiri in my room, in my team, I'm fine. And over time, I became visible. Over time, people, who is this Odiri self? It was later on when I realized when I understood the term sponsorship, that I realized, oh, this person is actually a sponsor. And what he was basically saying is that, oh, this person makes my life easy. If I have just 2 or 3 people of this kind of person in my team, I'm fine. I can go to sleep. I can come to work drinking tea, read newspaper. I know that the work will be done. And so before I knew it, I was already being attracted to somebody who can act as a sponsor. Then I was a financial controller, and then he was my group CFO. And then they moved him from that group CFO position. So who automatically would not take up that group CFO position? It's the person is saying, if I can just have that person. And that's how I woke up one day and I was named group CFO. Yes. And it was because I had a sponsor. Now, the truth is, was I looking out for a sponsor? Not necessarily. But it was a critical part of my career growth. Today, I'm CEO of United Capital Asset Management, and I can tell you that I did not get the job because I applied. I got the job because somebody said, Odiri can do this job. So Odiri was a group CFO. And then 15 months down the line, there was a board meeting. The MD of the asset management business was being moved to do something. And then somebody said, Odiri, you can't do the job. I had no clue. I've not done business development before. I've not worked in sales before. I've not run a business before. I was just doing my job and doing it well. So the critical way to attract a sponsor is to ensure that you're doing your job above and beyond what is expected of you. And then you're visible. You are visible. So it's not enough to do your job well. Try as much as possible to be visible within your organization. A sponsor can be outside. But most times, particularly when it comes to your career and your career growth within that particular company, your sponsor can also be inside. And then if you've done your job very well, above and beyond, you're visible, it is not out of place to ask to be sponsored. I said before, don't ask. Now, giving you the journey of what you can do now to not get to a point where you ask. Because sometimes a closed mouth is a closed destiny. So you see a senior leader who you have, you like the person, the person sort of have some, is it somebody that you can relate with? Ask the person. This is what I've done. This is my work profile. I'm trying to get this job. I want this job, this next level job. Will you be kind enough to sponsor me? It's okay to ask at that point in time, but not at the beginning. Is that okay? Yeah. All right. So the next point I'm going to speak about is being intentional. In building relationship, you have to be intentional. Relationships don't fall on your laps at all, whether it is within your organization or outside. You have to be intentional. Relationships thrive when you approach them with a clear purpose. So what is the purpose of trying to build a relationship? What kind of relationship do I need to grow in my career? We've talked about having a sponsor. So now you're not intentional to approach somebody to say, oh, I want you to sponsor me. A critical part of being intentional is also attending networking events. A lot of us don't attend events, and it's understandable. You work long hours, you're tired at the end of the day. There's an event sponsored by your company, you don't attend. There's an industry event, you don't attend. So how do you want to build relationship? I said at the beginning part of your career, probably the first 3 to 4 years, your technical skills is critical, But by the time you start entering year 5, year 6, your relationship skills will have to start playing out at that point in time. Because it is at that stage of your career that people now, they now ask you to lead a team, manage a unit and things like that. If you don't have relationship even with your colleagues, if you don't have relationship with people who are maybe just joining the firm and they probably have to report to you, how do you ensure that you thrive at the end of the day in that particular role? Because you can't do the job alone. No. As you start getting into maybe mid-level manager role, your job is not doing. Yes. You have been so good at doing. Now they now put you at middle management. If all you're doing is doing, you will not succeed. Your role at that point in time is to manage and lead people. And managing and leading people is a function of relationship. It's a function of your relationship skills. So be intentional. Attend networking events. Show up. I talked about setting goals for the number of people you want to meet, and then you follow through. That is being intentional. And again, focus on quality, not quantity. Some people go to event and they want to collect, I came out with 30 cards. Who are the 30 people? So let the focus be on quality, not on quantity. For some of us, we say building relationship, maybe a bit, when we are already above middle level management. Last year was my first year of attending WIMBIS for the first time. Yes. And WIMBIS last year was their 22nd. Yes, but last year was my first time. Because a lot of my growing up in my career was focused on work, either I'm writing exam or I'm, So it was towards later I started saying, see, if you want to grow and scale significantly in your career, relationship is key. And I had to start doing that intentionally and then find a way to catch up. All the backlog, crash course in 2-3 years, and get to that level. But at this point in time, we are sharing our experience to say, start early. And the good thing is, by the time you start early, you learn. You build that stamina of rejection. Yes, early. And if you reject me now, it will pain me. Yes. But at the early years of my career, if you reject me, nothing. Yes, and that's the truth. Which is why starting early now and being intentional is critical. Because at the end of the day, by the time you are now more advanced and more visible, where you need critical relationship, you already have them. And some of those relationships, you've grown with them. You've grown with them. Unlike now that, you're just trying to get those relationships because of what you have. Irrespective of whether you are starting early or you are starting late, ensure that you are intentional. Now, the fourth strategy I'll talk about is seek to add value. What did I say? Because the reason why we want to build relationship is because we want to get. Yes. Either we want to get a job or we're looking at business or whatever it is. But the key to building and sustaining relationship is to be somebody who carries value and is willing to give value. When you are in a networking event and you're talking with somebody, you're the only one talking. You're talking about yourself, you're talking about what your company do, you're just talking. That person, after a while, will just leave you. And sometimes they've left people and they are still talking. Yes. But the person that you remember is actually the person who is listening to you and asking you questions. Yes, that's the person that you connect more with. The person who is listening to you and is asking you questions so that you can talk more. And you see, that's why introverts are the best people to build relationship. Yes. Because the extroverts are talking about themselves. I'm not saying they are both extrovert or introvert. I'm just trying to tell you that, see, whether you're an introvert or extrovert, there are values that you carry that also enhance relationship building. So as an introverted person, you're more, because you're not used to talking about yourself, then listen. Listen to the person and ask questions. And you'll be surprised at the end of the day, the person wants to know you more. How come I've talked about myself and I don't even know you? And so they will now ask, okay, tell me about yourself. And so you're deepening that relationship. So the key is to add value, seek to add value. The reason why you are going for that event is not just so that you can churn, your request, on people. No. And I've seen that a lot of us misuse valuable relationship. So you have an opportunity to meet with maybe a senior leader in your industry, and the Next thing you're asking for, after you send, oh, greetings, oh, it was great meeting you, I like what you said, and then you start asking for, I'm looking for a job. Or somebody say, is it 2K? Urgent 2K. We misuse valuable relationship. Valuable relationship. We misuse it. We misuse it. You know, we misuse it. Instead of asking for job or urgent 2K, why not ask, okay, what can I do for you? Or even look out for what is of interest to that person. You know, sometimes you can see a post that they did and you can, share it, not on LinkedIn, no. You can send it to them privately because probably you have their phone number. What's up? Oh, I really enjoyed this post that you shared. This actually resonated with me, you know. Or you see that they have a need somewhere. Oh, how can I help? I know somebody who knows that can assist you to do this. You'll be surprised how much value, you know, that person will be willing to do anything for you. Just because you came first from the point of value creation. So don't ever take advantage of valuable key or strategic relationship that you get simply because you want your need, your urgent need, your now need to be fulfilled. Think about the future. So seek to add value. Focus on how you can help others rather than what you can gain. What this does is that this builds trust, and at the end of the day, that other person will always also, at the end of the day, seek to also meet your own need. Now, the fifth strategy I want to share is building allies. You know, a lot of the time when we talk about building relationships, sometimes we are thinking about strategic relationships at a high level. I want to meet a senior leader in my industry or in my workplace, or somebody who is influential, or somebody who can help me do this. It's also important to pay attention to allies. Allies they could be people on your level. They could be people even that you are senior to in your organization. But there are people who are loyal to you. There are people who watch your back. There are people who are truthful. There are people who are your friends. They're also a critical part of the relationship that you're supposed to build in your career. You see, sometimes when we get to senior level, it's a very lonely place. Let me tell you the truth. And the reason is, do you want to share your struggle with? Who do you want to share your struggle with? Yes. You don't want to share your struggle with somebody who will now use it against you. Because yes, you struggle. You know, which is why sometimes when people get to that senior level, they start getting executive coach or going to see therapists. Because those are people that they can complain to. Yes, they look for those relationships outside their workplace. Because these are people that they can complain to that will not see their vulnerability in the organization. But allies are important because these are people who hear things about you in the company even before you. Because, you know, at that level, nobody tells you the truth. Yes. Nobody tells you the truth. When you are doing something wrong, nobody wants to tell you. But the allies are the ones who will tell you to your face, this thing you're doing is not wrong. Or, I heard this, so, you know, this is coming. So allies are critical relationship, and they are not senior people. They don't look like strategic relationship. And that's it. So if all you're looking for to build relationship is people who are strategic, allies are strategic. But on the face of it, they may not be strategic. They could even be a cleaner in the office. Yes. They could be people who everybody will ignore. But you see, these people that everybody ignores, they are the ones who hear a lot of things. Because they can enter into an office and be doing their work and maybe, you know, taking out the trash, and they are hearing something. Or somehow they just peep on a paper and they see something. And these are the people that you ignore. So in building relationship, don't take it for granted that there are certain people that are important, there are certain people that are not important. No. Everybody is important. But you must understand that everybody also have their own place. And there is the role of allies, who are people who may seem insignificant, you know, but they got your back. They can be loyal to you. You know, there are people that you can trust. There are people that you can listen to. There are people that can also tell you the truth. So number 5 personal strategy for me, really, in building relationship is to ensure that I don't ignore people who can be allies to me. Now, number 6 strategy I will talk about is be visible. How do you build relationship when somebody does not know you now? You see, if I attend an event like this and somebody sees me once and they greet me, if tomorrow they see me again, automatically they feel that they know you. Abi, is that not what you said today? They just feel that they know you. And that's visibility. So it's easier. So the first time they may not connect so much. But the second time they see you, oh, it's like we've known each other. So that connection now happens automatically. So building visibility is key in ensuring that you're building strategic relationships. So relationship is not just about, I want to meet somebody today and that's all. No. Sometimes you can meet somebody today, you greet the person, you exchange pleasantries, what's your name? Tomorrow you meet the person on that event, you're automatically friends for life. You just, oh, I know this person, and then you connect more. So it's important for us to be visible. Presence and visibility are key to staying top of mind. That's what he does. He helps you stay top of mind. Now, a lot of us, your visibility don't have to be physical. It's also on LinkedIn. How many of us have felt that, oh, because you follow somebody on LinkedIn or you've seen this person on LinkedIn, when you see the person physically, you just think, oh, I know you. Yes, I know you. Yes. So LinkedIn has also made it important for us to also build visibility and also leverage relationships. So a lot of us that are not on LinkedIn, I think that it's time for us to, ensure that we start leveraging the power of LinkedIn for two things: to build relationship and to build visibility. One of the things I've never really done on LinkedIn is actually to connect with people and then invite them for, coffee or something, or just, talk. So part of my, like I said, I do a lot of this goals writing, even around this. So this last quarter, I said, okay, I'm going to be intentional. So after I got my doctor, I said, okay, I want to start engaging with people in the academic world. So there was this young lady who also got her PhD last year, and then she got a job, in one of the universities as a faculty member. So I decided to reach out to her. I just want to hear your stories. Just tell me, how did you feel? And we got talking for almost an hour. Sincerely, we just met on LinkedIn. So LinkedIn can be a way to build relationships and connect. And you have to start in a way that is not threatening to you and to the other person. So I didn't even know she went to check me out. And some of the things that, even that I not even put on the face of LinkedIn, she got to know. Because this person I'm supposed to meet online, sort of, who is this person? What are the things, what are her likes, and what are, And so before we knew it, we spoke for 1 hour, and we felt that we've known each other for a long time. So being visible and leveraging whether LinkedIn or Instagram or any of the social media is critical also in this age and time where, a lot of activities can also happen digitally. Now, the next strategy I'm going to talk about is really around managing internal stakeholder. And I know Bukumi talked about stakeholder, but I'm going to look at managing internal stakeholder from the perspective of managing your boss. How many of us have a very great boss? So this is like 1/3 of the room. So let me rephrase the question. How many of us have not so great boss? Okay, because it's being recorded. See, don't forget that one day you'll be a boss too. Yes, one day you'll be a boss. I've had the pleasure and the privilege of having a great boss and not so great boss. And I realized that, sometimes the reason why those bosses they don't like you. I like that book. Why your boss prefers your colleague. Yeah, please go and read it. The reason why your boss may not like you, may be as a result of what you're doing. So I'm in a position where I'm a boss to somebody, and two people left. One left last year, one left early this year. And the feedback they gave is, me, I don't like them. Yes, part of their feedback is me, I don't like them. So when I saw the feedback, I called the person before she left. I said, okay, what do you mean by I don't like you? So she said, that when I have a client, I give it to somebody else. I put pressure on some of her people who are younger than her in the organization. I don't, I don't give her. I said, these are small clients that I don't give to her. So that's the reason why I don't like you. You know, if someone says, I don't like you because maybe I'm hard on them, or I speak in a very harsh tone to them, or do something negative to them, then you can understand. Or like you said, who says something like, in your head, you are thinking that this person doesn't like me, and so you come to work with that mindset that this person doesn't like you. The truth is, if your boss doesn't like you, it is your job, it is your responsibility to make your boss to like you. I had a boss who liked me, and I have the same boss who doesn't like me. The same one, no, not a different one. So the question I ask myself is, so what happened? This person used to like me, and this is the same person that was my sponsor. Now the relationship is on this other side, and this is the same boss who doesn't like me. At a point in time, I said, it's his problem. Yes. It's his problem. What did I do? After all, you know, the relationship was great, so how did it flip? So if your boss doesn't like you, it is your job and it's your responsibility. Because your goal, you see, you don't work for the organization, no. You work for your boss. Yes. You work for your boss. So when you wake up in the morning every day, your job is to go there to please your boss. So if your boss doesn't like you, then it means that there is something you are doing. There's something you're not doing right. There is something you're doing that is not pleasing to him. So it's your job to now find out, what is his expectation? What does he want? What is his style? If it means that you have to adapt to his style, then do it. Because it's not going to be there for life. But you are the one who is now feeling bad, you are feeling uneasy, you are the one that is not happy. So it is your job and it's your responsibility to ensure that you do what needs to be done to get your boss to like you. Because your boss is a human being. And, you know, I'm a boss now, so I understand. By the time I look at all the people that report to me, I say, there are some that you just have some natural connection to. Not because of anything, because they make your life easy. And I'm not telling you to go and start over-pleasing. No. That's not, it will be so clear that that's what you're trying to do. The goal is to remain professional while you're also trying to meet your boss. Because if at the end of the day, your boss is not looking good before his own boss, he will blame it on you. He will put that anger and annoyance on you. Sometimes it's not directly. Sometimes it can be indirect. So ensure that you're able to manage the relationship with your boss by ensuring that you meet the expectation, communicate, and then as much as possible, adapt to their style while remaining professional. Now, the next strategy I'm going to talk about is focusing on the big picture. Relationship is a long-term game. It's a long-term investment. If at the end of the day, you know, you want to build relationship now and cash out now, you know, a lot of us, that's what we want to do. We want to make the connection now and cash out now. Then you will build a very shallow relationship. Some of us are transactional in our relationship building approach. You know, the reason why we want to meet this person is to get something out. But if you are focused on the long term, there are relationships that I have that it is probably maybe 10 years that you are cashing out. Yes. It's in 10 years that somebody you have been investing in, a connection that you've been nurturing, is now bearing fruit. So have it at the back of your mind, you know, that relationship is in long-term gain. Think about how the connection with that person fits into a broader goals that you have, not just to cash out from that engagement today. The ninth strategy I'll talk about is don't burn bridges. What did I say? And this is a Gen Z model. Yes. It's a Gen Z model. Somebody was resigning from my office and she sent me a resignation by WhatsApp. Yes. By WhatsApp. I was not in the office and she sent my WhatsApp. Even when I came to the office, she never came to meet me physically. And she's in a competitor that I know the MD, I know the GMD, I know. Yeah. Don't burn bridges, no matter how bad. no matter how bad. I had a case recently. One of my colleague was leaving. He came to meet me. He doesn't like the relationship with his boss. So I said, okay, give me time to address it. He said, okay. Or I assume he said, okay. And then 2 hours later, around 8 p.m., I saw his resignation letter. And I called him the next day. I said, why didn't you tell me? Tell me that you can't give time, that you just need to go, and I will understand. But when you gave me the impression that you were going to give me time, and then now he wants to come back, I said, no. It was one of my best hands. I said, no. I said, no. Don't ever burn bridges. And then lastly, because my time is up, apply emotional intelligence. You know, emotional intelligence is a big word. And sometimes we think that emotional intelligence is for leaders. Emotional intelligence starts from the day you get your job, but it also starts from the day you're born. Emotional intelligence is critical because we're all dealing with people, whether colleagues, whether people up or below us, you're dealing with people. So it's important to apply emotional intelligence. Emotional intelligence helps you to understand, how what you say affects other people. Yes. And you'll be surprised that because of one of the things that you've said, you will not want to grow in your career or build a relationship, and people are saying no because of what you said. So emotional intelligence is critical. So before you even say something, no matter, even you are saying it to your friend, think twice. And ask yourself, how will these words, how will it affect them? Some people can be pained by what you said, and they won't say anything. They will not say anything. It's not when it comes to decision making, they say, no, this person, no. This person, no. So emotional intelligence is very critical. Practice active listening, manage your emotions, and ensure that you adapt your approach to different personalities and situations. Yeah, there are people with different personalities. In your workplace, you will find them. We have Gen Z, we have those who are matured, we have those who are extrovert, we have the introvert. We have people with different personalities. So don't use one way to treat and work with different people. So practice emotional intelligence, take those courses and get training when it comes to emotional intelligence. So let me just end with this. I said earlier at the start of my presentation that one of the critical things for success is the type of relationship you keep and the quality of those relationships. And it matters. Your competence, your capability, your technical skills, they are all great. But it gets to a certain level in your career where they are not as relevant. Let me put it that way. They are not as relevant as your ability to manage relationships. Thank you very much for listening.